years after abandoning his wife, Chike finally returned. But he didn't return as the powerful businessman people once admired. The money was gone. The success was gone. Everything he once built had completely collapsed. And now the same man who once walked away from his marriage without looking back was standing inside Amora's office, begging for help. The confident husband she once knew was gone. In his place stood a desperate man with nothing left. But Amora had not forgotten the past. Because years earlier, their story was very different. Years earlier, Chike and Amora were just a young couple trying to survive life together. They didn't have a big house. They didn't have expensive cars. Some days they barely had enough money to pay their bills. But despite all their struggles, Amora believed in her husband with all her heart. Even when Chike began losing hope, she never stopped encouraging him. But the truth was, Chike's business was failing. Every plan he tried seemed to collapse. Every opportunity slipped through his fingers. Slowly, the pressure began to break him. There were nights when Chike would sit quietly, staring at the floor, wondering if he had made the biggest mistake of his life. But Amora refused to give up on him. One evening, she brought out an envelope containing all the money she had been saving for months. Without hesitation, she placed the envelope into Chike's hands. To change. Opportunities started appearing. The business that once struggled to survive finally began to grow. By the time success finally arrived, their lives would never be the same again. Before long, Chike and Amora moved into a beautiful new house. For the first time in their lives, they were finally enjoying the success they had always dreamed about. Money was no longer a problem. Chike's business kept growing bigger and bigger. But something else was also beginning to change. Chike became busier. Meetings filled his schedule. Late nights became normal. The long conversations he once shared with Amora slowly disappeared. At first, Amora believed it was simply the pressure of success. But deep down, she could feel the distance growing between them. Then one day, a new woman entered Chike's life. Her name was Chioma. She was confident, charming, and the kind of woman people noticed the moment she walked into a room. At first, their interactions were simple. Just greetings at the office. Short conversations in the hallway. Nothing that seemed unusual. But over time, those conversations became longer. Chike began to enjoy talking to her. She made him laugh. She made him feel relaxed. For the first time in a long time, he felt a kind of excitement he had not felt in years. One evening, Chike invited Chioma out for dinner. He told himself it was nothing serious. Just a casual dinner. Just two people having a conversation. But during that dinner, something slowly began to change. They laughed together. They talked about their lives, their dreams, their struggles. And the connection between them started growing stronger. Meanwhile, back at home, Amora was beginning to notice the changes in her husband. Chike was coming home later than usual. His phone was always in his hands. His attention always seemed somewhere else. The man who once shared everything with her now felt distant. One night, Amora finally confronted him. She asked the question that had been sitting heavily on her heart. Why are you always coming home late? Why do you seem so far away from me? But Chike quickly dismissed her concerns. He blamed the business. He blamed the pressure of success. Although Amora wanted to believe him, something deep inside her refused to feel at peace. But while Amora struggled with those doubts, Chike continued spending time with Chioma. Not long after that confrontation, he invited her out again. This time, it was their second dinner. The atmosphere between them felt even more comfortable. The conversations became more personal. The smiles lasted longer. The distance between Chike and his wife grew even wider. Amora could feel it. Something inside her marriage was slowly breaking. Then one night, everything finally came crashing down. Amora was sitting quietly in the living room when she heard the front door open. She stood up, expecting to see her husband walk in alone. But Chike didn't walk in alone. Standing right beside him was Chioma. In that moment, Amora realized the painful truth. The man she sacrificed everything for had just brought another woman into their home. Tell me in the comment section. If you were Amora, what would you do?